Welcome everybody to today's video, and today we're going to talk about what you need to pack in your hospital bag for the hospital for breastfeeding. So it's not going to talk about necessarily what you need to bring for yourself postpartum, but for breastfeeding, like what are you going to need for breastfeeding postpartum. I may mention a few things that you would pack postpartum, but basically we're just going to talk about what you need for breastfeeding after the baby's born at the hospital. So if there's anything that you need to pack in your bag to be ready when you're at the hospital for breastfeeding. And honestly, there really isn't much, if anything, really. And if you do go to your hospital for a tour, you can ask them what they provide. And usually they'll tell you, but you can ask them, do you provide lanolin cream? Ask them what kinds of things do you provide for breastfeeding, like for mom who's breastfeeding. So what I would say, when you're packing your bag, you're packing clothes to go home in, you're packing clothes for your baby to go home in. You may pack a nursing bra. That's where I want to say you would want to pack a nursing bra. A good supportive nursing bra is the number one thing you would want to pack. Something that is not under wire or very tight, because you don't want anything that is going to press against your milk ducts and cause any, if there's a lot of pressure against the milk ducts, it could cause a plug duct, and we don't want that. So just keeping it where it's not tight, but it is very supportive, because you don't want it necessarily to be, flimsy and not supportive enough. And so you want a good nursing bra that is supportive. The second thing that would be beneficial is to have a good, I would say like a good nursing tank, like a nursing cami, because then you could have yourself covered and just pull down, just like a nursing bra, but it covers you all the way to your waist, which some moms prefer when, the baby's first born, just for not having to show their belly. The hospital gowns are just not nursing friendly, honestly. You could, I guess, have like 2 nursing gowns on and then have one where you can just pull down, but they're just not nursing friendly. So having something, a gown of some kind that is nursing friendly. So for myself, what I remember is getting like a nightgown that had buttons all the way down. So from the top down, or it could just be like halfway down. It doesn't have to be all the way down, because a lot of times it's just best to leave it unbuttoned and have easy access to it. So having a gown that is easily accessible to breastfeed, because you're not going to be lifting the whole thing up. And a lot of the hospital gowns, that's how they are. And then I know they have like cute little gowns that you can buy online, but again, they're just, unless they have some that are really nursing friendly, then that's great too. But just having a good accessible gown. The other thing that you may want is a nursing cover. If you know you're going to have a lot of family around, you aren't going to be uncomfortable breastfeeding in front of people, because on that second day you tend to breastfeed a lot more. You may want to have a nursing cover or something that can make you feel like you have some privacy, because you're going to want to be breastfeeding as often as possible, and you don't want to be uncomfortable because people are there, and maybe you feel uncomfortable to tell people to leave while you breastfeed. So if you have a good nursing cover, you might want to pack that. That might make you feel a little more comfortable. If you're somebody that really could care less, then you don't have to worry about that. If you know you're not going to have any visitors that you're going to be uncomfortable breastfeeding in front of, then again, that's not something you have to have. But if you know you're going to have a lot of visitors and you know that you'll be uncomfortable breastfeeding in front of people, then it would be a good idea to bring that. The next thing that I would recommend is some lanolin cream. Now, a lot of times the hospitals provide lanolin cream. If you have sore nipples, they may provide like a cooling gel pad. They may provide other things like a breast pump if you need help with that. They may provide a manual breast pump. There could be different things that they provide. Every hospital is different. Do you need all of that stuff? No. What I would just recommend is definitely having some lanolin. You want to have that before the baby's born anyway, because you want to have that as soon as the baby's born. As soon as you get home, you want to have your own lanolin. They send you home. It's usually like a little sample size, and a lot of times it's just a little little, like sometimes you know how shampoo comes in those little paper type things and you just tear off the corner and you get like not even a whole, to me I can never even get my whole head washed with that little itty bitty amount. So you'll have enough in that little sample to maybe get you through while you're at the hospital. But then when you get home, you're going to want some lanolin, and it doesn't have to be any specific brand. All I would say is that you want it to be pure lanolin. You want it to be something that is safe for the baby. If there's specific oils in it, sometimes moms will use something with coconut oil, or I know there's a lot of natural brands out there as well. So just looking to make sure that all the ingredients are safe for your baby, and knowing whether or not you're going to have to wash it off before you breastfeed. That's why lanolin is like the #1 best thing to put on your nipples, because you don't have to wash that off. It's safe for the baby to breastfeed. In between, you can put it on right before they feed and then after they feed, and then leave it on all day until it's time to feed again. You might apply more. So lanolin is perfectly safe to use as often as you need to, and that's what I would recommend that you pack in your bag. And with all of those things I mentioned, that's really all that you have to pack. Because, and this is what I mean for breastfeeding, like you're probably going to pack special socks for yourself or slippers, outfits for your baby for pictures, but really you don't need much. And with breastfeeding, you really don't need, honestly, you could probably get away with not bringing anything because they'll provide you with so much. But just to make things easier, having, like I said, a good nursing bra, a nursing cover, a nursing gown, or a cami with leggings, whatever you choose to wear, then lanolin cream, and you could pack a manual pump, but you shouldn't really use a pump or need a pump unless baby is not able to latch. Then you might need to hand express or use like a manual. If all they have is electric, that's fine too, but manuals tend to do better with your colostrum because it's such a thicker milk. So yes, you could pack a manual pump, but really, like, again, if you need that, then usually they can bring it. But if you have any, like, anything that would make you think you might need to have a pump, you could pack a manual, which is very simple. It's like put together and you stick it in. You don't have to worry about a bunch of parts. Like it'll have the bottle attached to it. You don't have a bunch of tubing or anything. You can wash the parts, and usually whoever you get your manual from, usually there's some way to show you how to clean it, take it apart, that kind of thing. So that is really it for what you would need to pack for the hospital. It's really simple. There's really nothing special. Now, I do have a few videos that talk about the things that you will need at home, and everything you might need for your breastfeeding experience. But as far as packing for the hospital, you're going to be there for 2, 3, maybe more, maybe 5 days, maybe at the most. You don't need much, and they will provide you with everything. They provide you with so much, even more than what you need. So that is it for this video. I hope that it answers any questions you might have about being prepared for the hospital. And if you do have any questions or concerns, feel free to leave a question or a comment in the comment section. And like most of my videos, I usually will put a link to some information that you can look further on whatever we've talked about. So if I can find something that talks a little bit more about lists of things that you can bring and pack for the hospital when you're breastfeeding, I will include that. Some of them might mention some things that I did not, but basically what I mentioned is what I would say you would definitely want to pack. Whereas anything extra is just that, it's just extra. And if you know that you're within home driving, if there's something that you forget, dad can run home, or mom, or sibling, or whatever, then you may do that because you don't want to have to think about, oh, well, what if this happens? Let me pack this for if this happens. Let me pack that if this happens. So you don't want to have to do all that. So again, I'll put something in the description to help you to look a little bit more onto it. And if you have any other questions, feel free to leave them below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.